I'm Laura Ansel, and this is a Northport Newsbreak. Geographic Information System, more commonly known as GIS, is a technology that is used to create, manage, analyze, and map all types of data. It connects data to a map and is an essential tool that helps power business decisions and support government operations. Here to tell us a little more about this computer system that is quietly changing the world is Jon Kalfsbeck, Alexander DiRamio, and Christopher Bair. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, pleasure having you here. So can you, for our listeners at home, can you tell us what is GIS exactly and what makes it so powerful?
So GIS basically is the city's main tool that a lot of staff currently use right now. Each department uses it. We rely on doing analysis, reports. We store a lot of data, and we also use it for field crews so we can report real-time data.
Wow, okay. What does that exactly mean? How does that?
So basically, for example, we have a couple applications out there, both for internal use and for the public as well. We use the public for reporting back non-emergency reports back to us that staff can, we can send it out to the departments that they can handle the requests. We also have an application out there that we use for search and rescue when we're currently working EOC. We have a bunch of applications out there currently for the public that they can view. You know, a lot of them are informational. During storms, evacuation zones, things like that. We also have debris pickup. We can tell you, like, if your street's closed, things like that. So we can relay the information back in real time.
Phenomenal. That sounds amazing. So you had some great examples there. Do you have a few more real-world examples of how GIS has been used to solve problems or make informed decisions?
Yeah, so basically we have some applications out there for some of our field crews, and some of the field crews we have on the utility side, public works side, Parks and Rec will also use it. So we rely on a lot of people like, say, boots on the ground as far as giving the data back to us out there because we're behind our desks all day long. We don't know what's happening out there, and we rely on these people and the public for that matter to report back to us so we can see what's going on out there. We also have, we still have a habitat sightings application that we have out there for the public, and we actually use the gopher tortoises to piggyback off of that so we can actually work with FWC and our Natural Resource Division. So we can basically protect the tortoises since they are a protected species in Florida, and we can also protect the burrows as well.
Chris, can you share some real-world examples of how GIS has been used to solve problems or make informed decisions?
I think the biggest one right now is digital twins. Digital twins are virtual replicas of physical objects or systems that use real-time data to mirror, analyze, and optimize their real-world counterparts. In GIS, they're essential for applications like urban planning and environmental monitoring, enabling users to simulate scenarios and make data-driven decisions. By combining 3D models, real-time sensor data, and predictive analytics, digital twins in tools like ArcGIS Pro offer insights for managing assets, infrastructure, and natural resources. This approach bridges physical and digital spaces, allowing for more effective planning and problem solving in various industries. The most important thing is to be able to see real-time data. It's the future, just being able to see everything in 3D in real time.
Alexander, is there anything like real-world examples from your corner of the world you want to tell us about? First of all, what is your corner of the world? And how to use GIS?
So my corner of the world is the utility department, and GIS is fundamental to our operations there. At utilities, we use GIS to map and manage essential infrastructure like water mains, hydrants, sewer lines, lift stations, etc. We have hundreds of miles of pipes and equipment, and most of it is underground and out of sight. So for us, GIS is like X-ray vision, helping us to see and manage these hidden assets. With GIS, we can track the condition of our infrastructure, plan our maintenance, and manage our system more effectively. It helps us use our resources wisely and keep the system running smoothly for the community. Another big part of what we use GIS for is supporting the rest of the city. We work with other departments like the police department, planning and zoning, economic development, and the fire department, again, using our GIS data. The fire department in particular is a good example. We feed them information on our hydrants and water mains to let them know about availability, pressure, flow, and things like that, so that in critical situations they have quick access to that GIS data. That way they can make faster, better informed decisions, which is essential when every second counts. We also make it available to the general public. The way we use it for residents is to mainly help them understand the city's water and sewer services. We put out interactive maps to help them find information about upcoming projects, service zones, and even whether water or sewer is available or expected to be available for them in the near future.
Sure. So it sounds like you're taking a lot of complicated information and complicated systems, and you're coming up with maps that really help people better understand what the current status is. Would that be a fair
Yeah.
non-GIS administrator term for?
I'd say it's a great way to put it. We're
Okay.
taking data and creating insights.
Love that. Okay. John, is there anything else there in that section you want to touch back on before I move on to the next question?
So recently we just we started the new North Report, and we're utilizing one of our public GIS portals right now, and we thought it would be a great way to transition all the data into using GIS right now. We have different applications. We have a viewer for the public. On the internal staff side, we actually have to where it's kind of like a triage, to where staff can go in and start reviewing it, and then as far as it going into our asset management program and other applications as well. So we actually have, kind of like a bird's eye view of what's going on out there, that the public is telling us. Another one that I really enjoyed building was our search and rescue app. So Fire Rescue incorporated this about a year ago. I developed it, and they basically make it part of their training now for new employees coming in. What that basically tells us is we use that during any kind of emergencies, real-world emergencies happening out there. Right now, EOC is a big one, so when we have like named storms, hurricanes, flooding instances, or anything like that, they are basically, there's probably a few users from every single firehouse within the city. There's currently 6, and they're out there recording all the data in real time. To give you an example, when Milton was here, when we were going through Hurricane Milton, they were actually telling us who they evacuated and who was staying in place. So that data is used by PD, Fire Rescue Chief, and our emergency managers as well.
Fascinating. So that's critical information that people need in a time of emergency.
Absolutely.
So, wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. What are some, emerging trends and technologies in GIS that are shaping its future?
I think one of the biggest emerging trends right now is digital twins. Digital twins are virtual replicas of physical objects or systems that use real-time data to mirror, analyze, and optimize their real-world counterparts. In GIS, they're essential for applications like urban planning, environmental monitoring, enabling users to simulate scenarios and make data-driven decisions. By combining 3D models, real-time sensor data, and predictive analytics, digital twins and tools like ArcGIS Pro offer insights for managing assets, infrastructure, and natural resources. This approach bridges physical and digital spaces, allowing for more effective planning and problem solving in various industries.
So can you tell us about a GIS project that you worked on that you're particularly proud of?
Well, again, as I mentioned before, I'm going to go back to the SARCOP, which is our search and rescue app. There wasn't really any vision behind it. It was basically one of the lieutenants giving me a call and say, hey, the county uses this. Do we have anything that we can spin up to make this look kind of like the county? Because we weren't able to customize anything that they were doing from the counties, using the county's apps. So utilizing one of our portals, our internal portal, which we actually host everything here, through all VM servers and everything. It is a challenge to make sure that, we have everything up and running, that we have no downtime, all the users are using it. So we utilized that one as far as setting up an application that looked identical to the county's version of their search and rescue, their SARCOP. And we actually, that made its debut on, I think it was Storm Idalia.
Okay.
And we were actually recording flood points. Fire Rescue had about 25 personnel out in the field, all from various houses and stuff. And we actually we're able to record enough data to where at the end of the day, when they released us from EOC, the county was looking for a report, and we were able to generate a report like within seconds because we
Wow.
had all the data. Also, you have the ability to take images with this as well. And like I said, when new employees come in, it's actually a required training for them now. And they also have, they can record as far as when they're doing like reconnaissance or anything like that, all their paths are recorded, all their points are recorded. And what we piggyback off of is the flood points. So we actually will develop other dashboards, as you will, that tell us, depending on like they're all timestamped, so you can actually see the level, the water level through a chart, and then you can see where it peaks and crests, and then you can see where it comes down, which is super important as we're trying to, because we do have the Tropic Air Gauge in Northport, and that's our main water gauge that, when it's over a certain height, we can tell you exactly which roads are going to have water over them.
Yeah.
And again, back to the North Report, that one's fairly new. It just went live this past Friday. So far, it's looking good. It's going to be, it's a work in progress, but the beauty of working on this in the background with our portal is that we don't have to, when we make changes to it, tiny little, modifications, configuring, things like that, it's like the next time a resident opens it up, they're going to see the change. There's no shutdown, there's no reboot, there's nothing like that. We just basically make the change, save it, and next time they refresh the page, that change has already taken place. So those are probably my two favorite projects I've worked on recently.
So how about you, Alexander? Anything in the utilities side of the world you want to share with us?
The biggest thing that I've been working on, I work with Chris, so he takes care of 90% of the GIS work for us. He's really killing it. For me, the one ongoing project I'm involved in is really trying to improve the integration of data between Lucity, our asset management system, GIS, and other platforms like Naviline, just to make each of the systems more relevant, reliable, and usable.
So it sounds like you're trying to take all the different softwares that the city utilizes to do the work and making sure that they're talking to each other. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, exactly. For example, we want somebody who is working in Lucity to be able to see what the GIS system has to say about a fire hydrant. We want Lucity to know the status of a meter in Naviline, and we want to be able to use GIS to maybe add new assets to both systems. Creating integrations between those systems makes each of them more useful to us and more efficient for the city as a whole.
Love it. That sounds perfect. What do you find the most rewarding about your work as GIS administrators?
So for me, the most rewarding, since I live here also, is when the community actually uses the applications that I've developed. And they can also use the application to access real-time information about, say, like road conditions, any kind of damage reports, and see where hurricane equipment is stored. We use that for our logistics as well during Hurricane Milton. Also, we use our information. It enhances communication between residents and the city, allowing for better coordination and quicker responses during emergencies. So overall, these applications empower the community to actively participate in disaster management and recovery efforts.
As a technician, I enjoy GIS because of the problem solving. Everything's kind of like a puzzle or a brain teaser. We have to deal with problems, and every time is a little bit different. Even though we did something one way, it doesn't mean we can do it the same way the next time. One of the biggest challenges that we face is relying on spatial databases, which have challenges like inconsistencies, file management, and data cleaning.
Yeah, so it sounds like you really have an opportunity to find ways to be creative and be creative problem solvers.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. What would you say are some resources or tools that you'd recommend for people who want to learn more about GIS?
That's actually a great question. I would say the biggest resource that we have is currently our city GIS staff. In the past, I have helped some college students out before that were actually majoring in geography. I helped them out with their homework, things like that. I'm actually currently part of the Big Brother, Big Sister mentoring program. So I like helping out. I'm getting to the point now in my career to where I like sharing what I do. I don't hang on to my expertise or anything like that. I will show people exactly how I do it. I like to help them out because I know that they're going to be the future of GIS or helping the city out or helping the community out as well.
I love that. Thank you. And you have a lot of opportunities, right, coming up where people and students can stop by and learn more?
So we actually, November 20th, we have our annual GIS Day event coming up. It's going to be over at the Morgan Family Community Center. It's from 2 to 6. So we will have several tables out there. It's going to be pretty much all the city departments. We have some of our neighbors as well, Sarasota County. They will have a table out there, and SCF Technology Program will be there as well in the city of Sarasota. We've invited them to come out and help host this event, for the community. We'll have several tables of drones out there as well because we are now getting into drones as far as using their data, what they record. We actually recently used drones to do a water survey during the flooding event during Hurricane Milton. So we're just barely breaking the surface for the drone program right now.
Yeah, but it sounds like lots of interesting ways that could expand and grow and be even more powerful. So, all right, so definitely don't miss that. If you are interested in learning more about GIS systems, GIS Day, that will be November 20th. And you can learn more at NorthPortFL.gov. All right, so Alexander, how about for your corner of the world? What are some resources or tools you'd recommend for those who are really curious now about GIS?
Just like John said, I got to agree, the staff is a big one. John in particular, way back in the day, he actually trained me up on a lot of what I know for GIS. Him and Brandon Kersey, who used to occupy Chris's role, they brought me into the world of GIS and really let me run with it. So thank you for that. Beyond that, like John said, I think this is our 5th annual GIS Day. Is that right? 6th?
For you, yeah. This
For
is
me.
like my 17th.
For me, and therefore the city, it's the 5th.
That's why John got my Wonder Twins quote. He's 17 GIS days.
I didn't realize we had 17 before. But yeah, I guess our 17th GIS Day that we've hosted at Northport. And we've invited Northport High to join us. That is a great opportunity for students to see how GIS shapes the city, impacts the services they and their families rely on every day, and to learn more about how they can get involved. It's a chance for them to learn about a career path that they might not have considered or even been aware of. Students who are interested in GIS can stay local and make a big impact with the city of Northport.
Chris, tell me a little bit more about that. So a native Northporter, you came up, you're learning GIS systems. So what are some resources or tools that helped you along your journey?
So similar to Alex, I had a mentor just like him, John, right next to me.
He's a popular mentor.
Yes. Pretty much I've known John for years. I've lived around Northport for a while, and we ended up talking about what he did and how he got a job in GIS. It sounded interesting to me. He helped send me training material and give me some hands-on training. Outside of that, it's a lot of YouTube.
YouTube is helpful to all of us.
Yes.
What did we used to have encyclopedias we had to look things up in. So
Esri puts a lot of their material online. It's accessible. A lot of it's publicly available. It's just searching.
Okay, and what's Esri? Is that ESRI?
Yes, that's the main. That's a software provider of ArcGIS Pro.
Okay, perfect. So great example there is check out the Esri videos and learn a little bit more about GIS. Come to GIS Day. Come to the Career Connect Fair. Lots of opportunities out there to learn more. And thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time today to share your expertise and for all you do behind the scenes to keep our city running as well as it does, and during activations and answering the call when the public needs it the most. And you're doing a lot of really meaningful work, and we really do appreciate all that you do here for the city of Northport. For more information for those of you listening, make sure to visit NorthPortFL.gov/GIS. That's NorthPortFL.gov/GIS. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next Newsbreak.